People who've been cheated on, how did you find out? Saw my boyfriend kissing another girl in the background of a picture on Facebook. Didn't say anything for about a month and then finally asked. He told me the truth, and we broke up. We had a fight and I was holding both our phones. He went in the house and I stayed for some fresh air, and it passed through my mind to check his phone. I found out he was in another relationship for a couple of months, so I let him go meet up with her and made out with the first guy that crossed my path in front of all his friends. She told me, and expected me to be happy for her. It's been 4 years since I broke up with her and I still can't fathom how her brain worked. I walked in on them banging on the edge of our bed when I got home from work early. I went outside and keyed her brand new Mustang. It was the only time in my life I ever did something shitty like that to someone else's property. I was seeing red, and heartbroken, and had no control of my mind at that point. Good Lord, did I get drunk that night, and every day after for about 2 years. So glad that part of my life is very much in the past now. I got suspicious because of her behavior and logged into her computer, which wasn't password protected. I opened up her Thunderbird and found emails of him saying that he loved her. Then I opened the sent emails folder and found mails where she said that she is looking forward to come into his arms as his girlfriend. Later I got the password of her Facebook account and learned that she cheated on me with 5 guys, at least, dunno if there are more. The pinnacle was, that she cheated on me from the very beginning of our relationship. Had an affair with her former boyfriend that lasted for more than half a year into our relationship. She admitted 3 of the guys, denied the rest. Fucking crazy girl, I'm so happy that I got rid of her. He said some girl wouldn't stop texting him, so I called her off my phone and told her to leave him alone. She tells me how he started it, etc., and forwarded me a dick pic. It was his and he's an idiot. Walked into my apartment building lobby, and when the elevator doors opened, my very soon-to-be ex-girlfriend was lip-locked with a guy that lived across the hall. Ignored the excuses and bullshit, packed all her stuff in a box and put it in the hall for her to move into his apartment. She got drunk and told me via text, though I can't remember if that was out of anger or guilt. Then she denied it the next day, claiming that she meant to say something else. She'd said she cheated on me and later tried claiming that she meant to say she hated something. I've only ever been cheated on once. Right before we started dating, she was really flirty with this other guy. We got together and no big deal, she said she stopped talking to him. Couple months later, we're sitting down to a movie at the theater and she checks her phone. Out of the corner of my eye I see this guy's name on a bunch of texts. I got pissed, walked out before hearing an explanation. She came out to find me and assured me they were just friends. She showed me all of the texts. There didn't seem to be anything shady going on, so I apologized for getting upset and we went back in. I asked her not to text him because it made me uncomfortable and she agreed. A couple months later, I had to leave town because of a swim meet. That same weekend she had planned this big Christmas party and she was really upset that I didn't blow off the meet and go to the party. Remember this. Another few months later I was at her parents' house playing a card game with her and her family. She goes to the bathroom and leaves her phone on the table. It buzzes and I look down. Sure enough, that guy's name again. This time I saw the first message: "I'm free this weekend, wanna come over?" I lost my shit and stormed out. I didn't talk to her for 3 days, and when I finally did, she broke down and told me everything. During the Christmas party she lost her virginity to him. We were seniors in high school, and she had been fucking him regularly since then. She didn't sleep with me until February. During college she was home for the summer, but we were planning a visit, so I called her the night before she was supposed to come up and a guy answered the phone, basically told me that she doesn't even like me anymore, how pathetic I am compared to him, and how good she is with her mouth. I asked her friend, not expecting the answer to be yes, but, yeah. She was banging other dudes. I called my then boyfriend and we were chatting it up. After like 10 minutes, I heard a voice, a female voice. Funny, he didn't mention that anyone was there with him. I asked who it was and it was Angel, a friend of a friend. I had never actually met her, but I heard her name mentioned a couple times. I thought she was boinking another guy anyway. So I asked what she was doing there and he said doing his laundry. Because she likes to do laundry? Okay. Whatever. I went to his apartment a couple days later and found a hair tie on the bedside table. I asked whose that was, and it was Angel's. She apparently left it there when she had to take a shower at his apartment. So she left her hair tie by the bed? Why is she taking a shower at his place and doing his laundry? He tried to play it off all cool like nothing was going on, but he was a terrible liar and I often saw right through his BS, which as of late, there was a lot of. This is a guy who intentionally flipped his vehicle just to see what it was like. With passengers. I planned on breaking up with him anyway. The last few days made it that much easier to nope out of that relationship. He was definitely a little crazy. Girlfriend of 2 years cheated on me with her ex. She called me crying and said she did something. My heart dropped. I kept pushing and asking what she did and he said I slept with him. I was speechless and she just kept saying, "Right, I'm sorry, it won't happen again, right, please talk to me." I zoned out and was just seeing red. I finally replied, "We're done." Then I hung up the phone. I went into a rage. I went outside, went into my wooden shed and started just punching the walls. I broke my right hand that day and honestly I didn't get. I just felt my heart was ripped out. I stayed in the shed for 4 hours holding my hand until finally I went to the hospital, got a cast and went home. I was just blank for hours. I moved the next week to a new city 2 hours away and cut every bit of her out of my life. I went to university, met new people, became a new and better me. It's been 3 years since that day and I'm happy. First girlfriend who cheated, it was maybe a couple weeks after she moved into a new apartment. I was helping her find her cat who had gone missing, and when I went down to look under the bed, I noticed a used condom on the floor. We hadn't had sex in her new place, yet. I told her, she tried to deny it, but couldn't really, so I just said we're through and left. Second girlfriend who cheated on me, she told me. We had been dating pretty much all of fall semester, and when I got back from winter break, she told me she banged an ex while I was gone. I said I needed time to think, thought about it for a day, then ended it. Third girlfriend who cheated on me, she never admitted to it, and I never actually asked/confronted her, but it's obvious in hindsight. She had her gay friend come and visit her for a long weekend, so she said she was going to stay at her place while he was there because her roommates didn't like some strange person staying there if she wasn't there, too. But she also didn't want me staying there with her because he had to sleep on an air mattress on her floor since the roommates also didn't want him on the couch. I thought nothing of it because he certainly seemed gay to me, talked about ex-boyfriends, guy celebrities he had crushes on, etc., but turns out he's bi. About 2 weeks after that she broke up with me, and then a couple weeks later after he moved back to town she started dating him. I put 2 and 2 together. I was trying to give her space. Swung by the house before work, saw a pregnancy test in the trash while taking a piss, randos clothes on the floor, stains all over my bed like a Saint Bernard had been sleeping there, stepped into the office to find the dude in his boxers/wife beater at the computer. Asked WTF are you doing here? Before he answered I said have a nice day and stormed out. The 5th time is where I drew the line. Filed for divorce and discovered freedom. First time, 3-year relationship in college. She asks me one night if she thinks we are in a rut in our relationship, then says she needs a few days to think about it. When we start talking again a few days later she gives me the "I never got to be crazy in college" speech, basically I want a chance to whore it up for a while. It hurt but we broke up. Not a week later I see her at a bar with a guy so I'm thinking I guess that's guy number 1. He comes up to me while I'm buying a drink, asks me if I'm her ex. When I reply yes he begins to recall the story of how they met a few weeks ago and immediately started dating. Put 2 and 2 together to realize she had started seeing him well before we broke up and just didn't have the guts to end it with me. I found out later that he cheated on her and basically treated her like shit. Second time, different girl. She told me she and some friends were going on a trip to visit some of her high school friends in Kansas. While they were gone her friends posted pics on Facebook of the trip. Turns out all of the friends she and her girl crew were visiting were guys. Basically got updates and pics of her flirting and kissing this guy all weekend. When she got back and saw how pissed off I was, she tried to act all concerned until I told her that her friends had been posting pics to Facebook. I still remember the look she exchanged with some of her friends. Told my ex to go out and have fun while I was out of town. She was quiet and shy and never did anything social, so I was surprised to find out she went out with her friends. A month later she left me for another guy. When I looked back at the pictures from that night, she's next to him in every one. Only after bringing this up did she admit she kissed him that night and been seeing him every night since. Yeah, she told me. I couldn't say shit because I was doing the same thing. We're still good friends, FYI.